Since the beginning of time, controlling the seas has been super important. The vast oceans have always been a source of mystery and opportunity, offering pathways to new lands and untapped resources. Naval warfare, a mix of new ideas and adapting to change, has shaped the fate of countries. From the triremes of ancient Greece to the dreadnoughts of the early 20th century, the evolution of naval ships reflects the technological advancements and strategic thinking of their times. Trade, defense, and showing strength, they all depend on a strong navy. A powerful fleet not only protects a nation's interests but also projects its power across the globe, ensuring safe passage for merchant vessels and deterring potential adversaries. This video explores how naval warfare has changed, from wooden ships to nuclear submarines, highlighting the important battles and inventions that have defined maritime history. Each era brought new challenges and innovations, pushing the boundaries of what was possible on the high seas. Throughout history, being able to control sea routes has been key for a good economy. Dominating these routes meant access to valuable goods, spices, and other resources that fueled the growth of empires and civilizations. Countries with strong navies could keep their trading ships safe and stop their enemies from trading. This control over maritime commerce often determined the economic prosperity and stability of nations. This economic power often meant political and military power too. A dominant navy allowed nations to exert influence over distant territories and play a crucial role in international diplomacy. A strong navy wasn't just for war, it was a core part of a nation's strength. It symbolized national pride and technological prowess, serving as a deterrent to potential aggressors. Besides money matters, naval power has been essential for protecting countries. Coastal defenses and naval patrols ensured the security of a nation's borders, preventing invasions and safeguarding its sovereignty. Island nations especially relied on their navies to stop invasions and protect their shores. Their geographic isolation made a strong naval presence crucial for their defense and survival. Even for countries with lots of land, a strong navy could be the first line of defense, controlling the waters near their coasts and stopping enemy landings. This maritime shield was often the difference between security and vulnerability. Also, naval power has been important for showing strength around the world. A fleet that could operate in international waters demonstrated a nation's reach and influence, often serving as a tool for diplomacy and power projection. A navy that can operate far from home lets a country have influence all over. This ability to project power globally allowed empires to establish and maintain colonies, control trade routes, and access vital resources. This has been important for empires, letting them set up colonies overseas, get important resources, and shape the world. The reach of a powerful navy enabled the spread of culture, technology, and political influence across continents. The history of naval warfare shows how clever humans are, and how we always want a strategic edge. Innovations in ship design, weaponry, and tactics have continually transformed naval combat, reflecting our relentless pursuit of dominance at sea. From the oars of old ships to the nuclear reactors of modern submarines, the story of naval power is one of constant change and new ideas. Each technological leap has redefined what it means to control the seas. Let's look at this cool history and see how wanting to rule the sea has shaped human civilization. The quest for maritime dominance has driven exploration, innovation, and conflict, leaving an indelible mark on our world. The earliest kinds of naval warfare started because people needed to control rivers and coastal waters. These waterways were crucial for trade, transportation, and communication, making them strategic points of interest for emerging civilizations. Ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans knew how important sea power was. They understood that controlling the seas meant controlling trade routes, expanding territories, and protecting their people from invasions. They built advanced warships and came up with smart tactics, setting the stage for how naval warfare would develop. These early innovations laid the groundwork for future naval strategies and technologies that would dominate the seas for centuries. The Egyptians, known for being great at river warfare, used sleek wooden boats powered by people rowing oars. These boats were not only fast and agile but also capable of navigating the narrow and winding channels of the Nile. These boats, often decorated with scary figures on the front, patrolled the Nile River, protecting trade routes and fighting off invaders. The figureheads were designed to intimidate enemies and symbolize the power and protection of the gods. The Nile River, super important for ancient Egypt, became a battleground where the fate of pharaohs and empires was decided. Control of the Nile meant control of the lifeblood of Egypt, influencing agriculture, trade, and political power. The Greeks, with their long coastline and many islands, were born sailors. Their geography naturally pushed them towards the sea, making them experts in navigation and maritime trade. They invented the trireme, a powerful warship with 3 rows of oarsmen on each side. This design allowed for greater speed and maneuverability, making the trireme a formidable force in naval battles. This made the ships much faster and easier to steer, giving the Greeks a big advantage in sea battles. The trireme's agility allowed Greek commanders to execute complex maneuvers and tactics that often outflanked their enemies. The Battle of Salamis in 480 BC, a super important moment in the wars between the Greeks and Persians, showed how effective the trireme was and how it changed ancient warfare. This battle demonstrated the strategic importance of naval power in determining the outcome of conflicts. The Romans, not as good at seafaring as the Greeks at first, quickly learned how important naval power was for controlling the Mediterranean Sea. They adapted and improved upon the naval technologies and tactics of their predecessors. They copied and improved Greek ship designs, building strong warships like the quinquereme, which had 5 rows of oarsmen. This innovation allowed the Romans to field larger and more powerful fleets, capable of dominating the Mediterranean. Roman naval tactics often focused on getting close to enemy ships so their soldiers could fight hand-to-hand. This approach leveraged their strengths in infantry combat, turning naval battles into extensions of their land-based warfare. The Punic Wars from 264 to 146 BC, a series of wars between Rome and Carthage, showed how important naval power was for deciding which empires would survive. These conflicts underscored the critical role of naval dominance in shaping the political and military landscape of the ancient world. The late Middle Ages and the Renaissance saw a big change in naval warfare with the invention of gunpowder weapons. This period marked the beginning of a new era where the seas became battlegrounds for emerging empires. Ships that could sail across oceans were now equipped with powerful cannons, transforming them into floating fortresses. European powers, eager to explore, trade, and build empires, constructed formidable navies. These navies were not just for defense but were tools of expansion, spreading their influence across the globe. The Age of Sail, characterized by the thunderous roar of cannons and fierce battles between empires, revolutionized naval warfare forever. The addition of cannons to warships in the 1400s completely changed the dynamics of sea battles, making them more strategic and deadly. No longer did ships have to rely solely on ramming into each other or engaging in brutal hand-to-hand combat on deck. Cannons allowed ships to attack from a distance, delivering devastating broadsides that could cripple enemy vessels before they even got close. This led to innovative ship designs, such as the galleon, which featured multiple decks bristling with cannons, significantly increasing their firepower and combat effectiveness. Armed with these advanced warships, European powers embarked on ambitious voyages of exploration and conquest, seeking new lands and riches. The Portuguese, Spanish, Dutch, French, and British built vast overseas empires, each vying for dominance on the high seas. Their powerful navies enabled them to control crucial trade routes, establish colonies, and amass great wealth, fueling their ambitions further. The race to dominate the seas became a central aspect of global politics, influencing the course of history. The Battle of Trafalgar in 1805, a monumental clash between the British Royal Navy and the combined fleets of France and Spain, underscored the critical importance of naval power during the Age of Sail. Admiral Horatio Nelson's brilliant tactics and the exceptional skill of British sailors secured a decisive victory, establishing the British Navy as the dominant maritime force for the next century, shaping the future of naval warfare and global politics. The 1800s brought a time of amazing technological progress, changing naval warfare again. The Industrial Revolution, focused on steam power, iron, and steel, led to faster and stronger warships. The time of wooden ships and sails ended, replaced by ironclads, dreadnoughts, and the first submarines, changing sea battles forever. Steam power revolutionized how ships moved. Steam-powered warships, no longer needing wind, could go faster and steer better. This led to the screw propeller, which made ships even faster and more efficient. The Age of Sail was ending, replaced by the sound of steam engines and propellers. Using iron and later steel to build ships led to ironclad warships. These heavily armored ships, which regular cannons couldn't hurt, were a big step forward in naval technology. The Battle of Hampton Roads in 1862, during the American Civil War, saw the ironclads USS Monitor and CSS Virginia fight, marking a turning point in naval history. The late 1800s and early 1900s saw the rise of dreadnought battleships. These huge warships with giant guns and thick armor became symbols of national power. The naval arms race between Great Britain and Germany before World War I focused on building these huge ships, with each country trying to have better firepower and technology than the other.